pulled up to Shelby, America today, just like I've done 100 times before. Obviously, either to be part of a tour, or to be part of a TV interview, or something just going on to see what they were doing. And all of a sudden, I see all these Mustangs waiting to be converted, either into Super Snakes or the wide body kits, or any number of different levels. But I just wasn't expecting to see, and it turns out I thought this was a lot of cars. No, this is just a fraction of the 100 they just received the other day, sent in by dealers to be converted into Shelbys. So you can see they start with Mustang GTs, but now obviously you see the team rig. This is what tours the country, goes to different events. They haul, depending on the nature of the event or where they're going, either Cobras, Daytona Coupes, obviously Shelby Mustangs for sure. It just gives you some idea of the scope of operation. And again, they received just over 100 cars the other day. So it's, I guess you'd call it an overflow condition here. There's the famous 15 that runs right through Las Vegas. If you get a chance to come here. Anyway, I just wanted to share it with you. I wanted you to see the facility and get an idea. The tours, it's a cinch to get signed up for them. And they're great. They're conducted by people who really know the cars, really know the product, can answer the questions. And certainly if you have an interest in the history, and not everybody does, but if you do, they can answer those questions too. And the walls themselves, well, they actually do talk here. So anyway, good visit, and hope you get a chance to come on in. Well, if you make it all the way to Las Vegas and you don't take the time to come to Shelby, the Carroll Shelby Heritage Center, you really missed an opportunity. An amazing gift shop of Shelby paraphernalia. Of course, the Heritage Center itself, which really comes off like a museum. It's just amazing, the collection of cars. And we'll go there in a minute. And of course, the actual manufacture, the modification of Shelby products, not least of which, of course, are a number of different levels of Mustang, and of course others, well, their trucks and some other toys that I can or cannot mention. I'm not sure. The bottom line is, if you come to Las Vegas, you need to come to, if you have the time and you care about cars, and certainly automotive history, not to mention the current products, you got to come to the Carroll Shelby Heritage Center. Very, very close to the Strip. You can hear the 15 behind me, the Freeway 15. So it's conveniently located. I mean, from here I can see Mandalay Bay. So it's very close, very, very close. But let me take you on inside so you get a sense of it. And then I'm going to show you a couple of things that may surprise you. The gift shop's really well stocked, and surprisingly not outrageously expensive. It's not a gouge center. It's very much a center where you have an opportunity to buy some history. Everyone here is very, very friendly. And as you can see, if this light has adjusted, it is one well-stocked puppy. All kinds of memorabilia, model cars, and great clothing. Of course, because of my last name, I do have some connection here. My father was a factory driver back in the 60s for Shelby. Won the Trans Am Championship with him, won the B Production National Championship with him. So been around these cars pretty much my whole life, been around most of the company. And I'm really lucky I get treated well here, as you would if you came here. Now they've got tours, and I'll walk in that direction. People, again, just so nice. They don't pull any attitude like some of the places I have been, where they think they're more important than the history and the legacy itself. For those of you who just can't afford a whole Cobra, that makes a nice couch, and makes people think you used to have most of a Cobra. Again, great t-shirt collections, jacket collections, posters on the walls. A lot of history here. Books for sale, of course. Good collection of that stuff. Most of these written by very, very, very famous guys with a lot of background. I'll give you a glance. This is where the tours start. We are going to be given the privilege of walking out into the shop and giving you a good solid look around. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at what goes on here. The last 289 Cobra, there it is. Boy, it is beautiful. I know they had the first one for quite a while here too. You know, not only are you getting a continuation alloy Cobra, but some people actually have them polished. Case in point, that one, I think that's an anodize. That one. Great posters with great storytelling on the walls. Gives you a sense of the history. And I realize history means less and less to people than it used to, but it's still worth knowing where cars came from, where the legacy came from, how these cars became so famous and successful and so valuable to collect. And of course, a polished continuation alloy Daytona coupe. See, Daytona coupes are kind of the ultimate to begin with, but then you go ahead and you polish it. That kind of tells people who you are. Again, some great stuff on the walls in the traditional colors and a traditional number from the coupes. Remember, there's only 6 of those original cars in the whole world. They all still exist, amazingly enough, despite having won the World Championship, Manufacturers Championship back in '65. The center aisle for Mustang people. Rich with Mustangs, rich with history. I see Vince Violet walking around. He's a VP here and in charge of just about everything, as near as I can tell. Keeps himself plenty busy designing and building the new prototypes for their next product lines. Does all the development driving, and I've chased Vince at a couple of racetracks, and let me tell you, the guy knows what he's doing. Very, very quick. Cars with great appeal here. 427 with a more current engine in it. This car, 16, has been around the country. Very, very popular car, and this is one you can actually order today. Of course, the 4 GTs, i.e. The original style. Just amazing cars, fun to drive. A lot of fun to drive. I mentioned that my father was a factory driver. This is a picture of him at Sebring in the 17 car, winning that race and beating some pretty famous cats to go on to win the championship. There's their Le Mans victory. Shelby took all the right guys to Le Mans. There's my father way up on the wall again. And of course, Carroll Shelby, famous for winning the Le Mans 24-hour in an Aston Martin. I don't know the history of this car, if it's the original car or not. It's certainly got that war-torn look, I gotta say, having run a lot of endurance races. I know how cars look afterwards. Shelby product that you can buy, big horsepower numbers, great handling, and something that wasn't considered much back in the 60s. These actually have brakes and everything. Cars were fairly fast, but guess what? You didn't stop worth a dang. Of course, Ford versus Ferrari, pretty well loops, that movie loops all the time. Shot. They salute, in all fairness, and they should, Shelby's Chrysler history. He certainly made those little cars pocket rockets, let me tell you. And then there was the Oldsmobile period with the Shelby Series 1. Didn't make a lot of them, but people who have them love them, including Shelby's grandson has one of his own. Again, the walls just stay. So much history on these walls, it's unreal. So much history sitting on the grounds here. Powerful cars. It's not uncommon to see 1,000 horsepower on some of these cars here, which is spectacular. It's amazing what you can go to a showroom and buy today. These Shelby products, I don't think they make anything under 500 horsepower. And most of it's in between 500 and 1,000, depending on the nature of what you want to do. Salute to the earliest days, 65, 66, 67 GT350s, Mustangs.
I know what those tires are.
Very popular and very expensive these days because they weren't necessarily always the best taken care of cars. But this is what they call the Heritage Center. They hold a lot of functions here. You can actually hold your wedding here, or any kind of banquet you want to put on. They're fully capable. These cars just all got put back in from an event from this past weekend. So the place stays pretty busy, all told.
How you doing?
Good, pal. How are you? And there's history. Just you could spend hours just taking it all in. I'm not going to take you to the front offices, though it's tempting because there's some great memorabilia hanging on the walls. I'm going to get, hey Vince, would you hold that door for me for a second? Might as well get the vice president of the company to hold the door open for you. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
You got it.
I figure it's got to be the best doorman I've ever had. This gives you an idea of just how serious they are about production. And this is one, there's a second facility not far away from here, about half a mile, where they have another 100 or so cars being Shelbyized everywhere. And obviously they're different levels. It depends how far you want to take it, how far you want to go with it. And then of course, these are cars that will see a wide body car. That'll be going to the paint shop next. You can see the big fender flares that Vince had come up with and the way to attach them. Got a very packed parts department, part with new stuffs that are coming in, and part because they got takeoffs. And of course they've got dealers who automatically want any of the takeoff materials to take it from a stock Mustang GT and converting it to a Shelby of whatever level they're going to go to with it. Another Signature Edition wide body. Wow. Got the Shelby seats in it already, I see. And the wing. Love some of these cars. Tolingo car over there. There's so much good stuff. It's just fun to be here. I can point you in the right direction, but I can't take you there. But way back in that corner is Vince's prototype shop. We're not, I'll go there with Vince sometimes, but not allowed to film in there. And what they're working on next, we're thinking 25, but they're already thinking 26. So they've got things going on. You'll see there the Mach-E Mustang pseudo SUV, whatever. And Vince really fooled me on that one because I got in it one day with him and he hit the start button and the thing sounded like a big block. He rubbed it and we took off and I'm like, you guys put a big block in this thing? No, it was part of that Borla exhaust sound system that's so convincing. You find your body automatically torquing for the upshifts and the downshifts. They've got a body shop here, but they have a larger full paint facility down the street, not too far, just off the strip. You get a sense of it. It's very real.